Many of us are always waiting for saviors to come and help us, to come and change our situation, to come and change our circumstance, to come and lift us out of poverty, to change our whole life. We have been taught, we have grown up. Most of what we know is just to wait for someone external, someone out of us to change our circumstances. So most of us believe we have no part to play in our circumstance changing, like we have no power. Like for anything to change in our life, there has to be a divine miracle, divine savior. Someone else has to come from somewhere else to save us. We have sort of developed this dependency syndrome. We have been taught, wait, be a good person, and then a savior is going to come and save you. We believe that for our circumstances to change, only someone else can change it, that we are powerless in our own situation. So wait and wait and wait. We seek the divine, we seek the spiritual, but we take no action towards helping ourselves. And during this waiting, we become submissive. Why? Because we expect if we become a good person, a good boy, someone else will look towards us and help us out of our situation. And we become easily influenced in this period. Why? Because we become vulnerable. When you wait, when you become submissive, when you lose all hope, you become expectant, dependent. So we've believed that only external powers can change a circumstance without knowing that we have the key, the power to change our own lives, and that we alone can change our own lives from the action we take towards our own self. And we forget that we've made it this far based on the actions we've taken in the past. But now there's a new challenge. We're thinking, who can we run to? But just remember, you've made it in the past by taking little steps, not sprinting, just one step. You learned something today, you start practicing it, you grew, you prayed, you have done something. Everything in your life has changed because you have taken some sort of step towards that. And when many of us realizes there is no savior coming to save us but ourselves, it's become too late. Now we're ashamed of failing, we're ashamed of what people are going to say. We don't want to become the laughing or joke to other people. Now we get stuck in our ways. Why, knowing full well that we've done that same thing for 5 years and nothing has changed? Just because we become too scared to try or ashamed, we get stuck in our ways. But when we come to realize that we are our own savior, like no one is coming to save you. Everyone has their own problem. Everyone has their own issues, and to everyone, their own issues, their own problem is definitely primary, is bigger to them than your problem. Your problem secondary. There is no savior coming for you if you decided you're not important enough to save yourself. But the minute you give up hope, the minute all hope is lost, the minute you stop trying, that's the minute everything dies. Why? Because you are your own savior. From day one, you've always been your own savior. You have taken the steps to get you where you are. There are simple things in life we should use as parallel to, if you want to go to the bus station, you take few steps. You don't expect the bus to come into your house to pick you up. But you know the bus is there. You take steps. That you should apply that same principle in your life. Take steps towards where you need to be. Some of the wise people says a man is a sum total of his own thoughts, of his own thinking, of his own mind, of his own heart. You are what you think and do. The personality, the ways, the thoughts, the deed, the actions of a man are all based around his thinking, around his mind, around his actions. For what is a man? A man is his thinking, his mind, his heart. They say, regardless to a man's title, his position, his wealth, if the man's thinking in his heart is great, then he is great. And that man remains great under all circumstances, rich or poor, large or small, because if you are great inside, It's just a matter of time before you become great outside, because what you are inside is what you become outside. No one makes changes outside without changing themselves inside first. And because most of us seek saviors from the external world, we give up our own personal change. We refuse to change. Why? Because we believe, we hope, we know, we depend that everything that changes about us has nothing to do with us. Even a plant has to flower to attract insects, to attract animals to disseminate its pollen. So everything you do, the change has to start from inside. But it goes on to say, but if the man's heart is not great, then he cannot be great. So if you are weak inside, you will be weak outside. There's nothing to it. If you don't think, you can never have something to work towards. That is simple. So if you want miracle, be the guy that does your own miracle. Stop waiting and start doing. Be your own miracle. Be your own savior. Be the guy that comes to save yourself. Stop waiting and start doing. Some wise guys once says the greatest wave to ride in this world is the wave that's created by your own self. So the greatest miracle in this world is the miracle of you pulling yourself out of poverty, pulling yourself out of the slum, changing your humble beginnings, changing where you came from, changing the lives of people around you. That is the greatest miracle in life. Changing the narrative. That's when people talk about changing the narrative. That is the changing narrative. Coming from a very poor place and making a difference, making a change, standing different, knowing something, going for something, depending on something, making something come true. That is being your own savior. There is no one coming to save you but you.